Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being genuinely well-informed. Today, we're plunging into, well, one of the most critical challenges facing our planet, water. We're talking escalating scarcity, widespread pollution, crumbling infrastructure, and these intensifying impacts of climate change. For generations, water management has largely been a reactive game, sort of dealing with problems after they've already exploded. But that's starting to change dramatically. Imagine a world where we could actually anticipate these crises before they even begin. That's where artificial intelligence steps in. It's no longer just some futuristic concept. AI is here, and it's really poised to fundamentally transform the entire water sector. Our mission today is to uncover how AI is revolutionizing water management, exploring its profound benefits, but also, and this is key, its surprising hidden costs and the crucial role of human trust.
Okay, let's unpack this. Historically, water management has felt a bit like playing whack-a-mole, hasn't it? Burst pipes, contamination alerts, massive infrastructure failures, all demanding immediate, often really costly attention after the damage is done.
It's constantly reacting to a problem that's already hit.
Right. And what's truly fascinating here is how AI facilitates this crucial shift from that reactive model.
The whack-a-mole.
Exactly, the whack-a-mole, to a truly proactive, predictive one. Instead of just cleaning up messes, AI systems can analyze incredibly complex data. They forecast potential failures, identify anomalies, anticipate threats. Long before they ever actually manifest.
So you can get ahead of it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
This allows for timely allocation of resources and, implementing preventative measures, which is, frankly, a transformative change in how the water sector operates.
That shift from reactive whack-a-mole to proactive foresight sounds revolutionary. I mean, absolutely. But is it genuinely a seamless transition? What are some of the biggest hurdles organizations face when trying to implement this kind of predictive AI, even before we get into the tech itself?
Yeah, that's a great point. It's rarely seamless, but the payoff is immense. Often, the biggest hurdle is simply having access to good, consistent data. That's foundational. And then there's the human element, the willingness to trust and actually integrate these new insights into, well, established practices. Change can be hard.
Right, T. We've always done it this way problem.
Exactly. That's why understanding how AI does this is so important. At its core, AI's power lies in its ability to decipher these really intricate, nonlinear patterns within vast data sets. This is the central AI pattern mechanism. It begins by ingesting huge quantities of data from incredibly diverse sources. We're talking real-time sensor readings, historical records, satellite imagery, even weather patterns, just a massive inflow. Then, AI algorithms process all this information to identify hidden relationships and trends, things that would be virtually impossible for a human analyst to uncover manually.
So it's seeing connections we just miss.
Completely. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is constantly growing and the needle is, well, practically invisible to the human eye. And what's truly important here isn't memorizing the name of every single algorithm, but understanding the incredible power AI gains from finding these patterns. Different AI models excel at different tasks. You have some that are like expert
classifiers,
meaning they're trained on labeled data we've already categorized to tell us if water is drinkable or not drinkable, for instance, or even predict waterborne disease outbreaks based on certain indicators. Others are more like sophisticated forecasters, recognizing unusual events in unlabeled sensor data, like a sudden pressure drop that doesn't fit.
Okay.
And some are optimization wizards, fine-tuning things like chemical dosing in a water treatment plant for maximum efficiency, saving resources. For more complex challenges, like, say, analyzing microscopic footage to spot dangerous bacteria.
Like really tiny stuff.
Exactly. AI uses advanced image recognition models, pretty similar to how your phone might recognize faces in photos. These models can classify bacterial species based on their distinct shapes. The Lowell AI project, for example, is doing exactly that, using a model called VGG16.
Oh, okay, so it's like giving the system microscopic vision.
In a way, yes. And the real magic happens when AI fuses all these different data sources, from tiny sensors and pipes to historical maintenance logs to massive satellite images, weather data.
Right.
It creates these incredibly comprehensive models, and that leads to far more accurate forecasts and truly deep insights into how our water systems actually tick.
So AI can literally see things in the data that we as humans just can't. That's almost mind-boggling. It sounds like AI is giving us microscopic superpowers. But it makes me wonder, if AI is so good at figuring things out, where exactly does it plug into the entire water life cycle? I mean, from the very source right through to sanitation.
It really does reach into pretty much every corner. One of the most critical impacts is in real-time water quality and contaminant identification. This is a huge departure from the old way time-consuming manual sampling, waiting for lab results.
Right, which takes days sometimes.
Exactly. AI, combined with IoT sensors, that's the Internet of Things, where devices connect and share data constantly, can continuously monitor parameters like pH, turbidity, dissolved oxygen, chemical levels. The AI then analyzes this stream of data to instantly detect anomalies, predict contamination events.
Instantly.
Almost instantly, yeah, allowing for real-time alerts and swift interventions to prevent health risks. Less waiting, more immediate action. For instance, AI paired with high-resolution microscopic cameras and these bioluminescent ATP sensors. It can detect dangerous bacteria and pathogens in water samples super fast.
Wow.
And for chemical contaminants, AI models integrate that real-time sensor data with predictive modeling, providing highly accurate, actionable insights for the people making decisions on the ground. Then there's proactive infrastructure management and loss prevention.
The aging pipes problem again.
It's a global challenge, absolutely. But AI models can analyze data from sensors, equipment logs, historical maintenance records, looking for patterns that indicate an impending failure. The city of Tucson, Arizona, for example, is a great case study. They use an AI platform called VODA.ai.
VODA.ai.
Yeah. It analyzed their historical pipe failures, soil conditions, weather patterns, land use data, all of it. And from that, it calculates the likelihood of failure, the law-off, and the consequence of failure, or CO, for each individual pipe segment.
So they know which pipes are riskiest?
Exactly. It allows them to focus their limited resources on the most critical assets before a crisis hits. It's targeted prevention. Plus, AI can identify subtle anomalies in water flow and pressure, things that might indicate a small leak starting.
An early warning system.
Precisely. This conserves significant amounts of water, which is crucial, and dramatically reduces repair costs down the line. AI also extends to optimizing water and wastewater treatment itself, dynamically.
How so?
Well, it can optimize processes like coagulant dosing, figuring out the exact right amount of chemicals needed, and identify ideal filter settings. This leads to significant energy and chemical savings. And this is particularly impactful in wastewater treatment, which is incredibly energy intensive.
I've heard that, especially aeration.
You got it. Aeration alone can account for up to 60% of a facility's energy needs. It's huge. So AI systems continuously monitor pollutant levels, flow rates, even weather patterns, and adjust those aeration rates in real time. The goal is to minimize energy consumption while still ensuring effective treatment that meets strict environmental regulations.
Balancing act.
A very fine balancing act, yeah. And finally, in an era of intensifying climate change, AI is becoming indispensable for forecasting and managing water scarcity and extreme events like floods and droughts. AI models analyze weather forecasts, river levels, historical flood patterns, providing timely warnings.
That's vital for vulnerable areas.
Absolutely. And it's transformative in data-scarce regions, too.
Sure.
AI can intelligently infer and bridge data gaps by finding hidden connections in sparse information. For example, deep learning models can now pretty accurately estimate river flow in remote, ungauged watersheds, where we have no physical sensors.
That's incredible, filling in the blanks.
Essentially, yes. And in sustainable agriculture, AI analyzes weather, soil moisture, crop water requirements. It provides optimal irrigation schedules, which can dramatically reduce water waste in farming.
That's an incredibly comprehensive and frankly optimistic vision for AI in water management. But for our listeners who might be thinking, okay, this sounds almost too good to be true, what are some of the immediate practical hurdles, things that prevent universal adoption right now, even before we get to that black box issue? Because that's where it gets really interesting.
You're right to ask about the practicalities. It's not magic. One of the biggest challenges is simply the upfront investment.
The cost.
The cost of the necessary sensors, the data infrastructure. Many older water systems just weren't built for this kind of digital integration. It takes significant capital. And then there's the black box problem, as you mentioned. That's a major hurdle for trust.
Explain that a bit more. The black box.
Sure. Imagine you have a highly accurate AI model. It tells you, say, water in a certain area is contaminated. Great. But it can't tell you why it reached that conclusion. It's like getting an answer without seeing the working out. That creates a huge trust deficit.
Especially when public health is on the line.
Exactly. Decision makers, regulators, the public, they need to understand the logic behind these critical decisions. They can't just blindly trust an algorithm. Explainable AI, or XAI, is the direct response to this.
That's XAI.
It's designed to provide clear, human, understandable insights into how the AI reached its conclusion. It fosters transparency, accountability, and ultimately greater public acceptance and trust, which are essential for widespread adoption. XAI methods essentially work by shedding light on those AI predictions. They identify which input parameters, which pieces of data were most influential in generating a specific outcome.
So it shows its work.
It shows its work, exactly. It helps humans understand the basis for an AI's decision. Think of it like a detective's report, clearly highlighting the key pieces of evidence that led to their conclusion. For example, there's a technique called SHAP.
SEAP.
Yeah, SHAP. It quantifies the contribution of each piece of data, each feature, to a prediction. So in water management, SHA could show that indicators like zinc levels, nitrate concentration, and chloride had the highest contribution to a specific groundwater pollution prediction. It points to the likely culprits. Then there's another one called LIME.
Lime. Okay, SHAP and lime.
Right. LIME explains individual predictions by basically simplifying the complex model's behavior just for that one specific outcome. So it can explain, for example, why this specific water sample was flagged as an anomaly, perhaps based on just a few key sensor readings spiking. Give you a local explanation.
Ah, okay. Focused explanation.
Exactly. And another interesting technique is counterfactual reasoning. This shows what would have needed to change in the input data to alter the outcome.
Like a what-if scenario.
Precisely. It could tell you, if this particular chemical concentration had been 10% lower, the AI would have classified the water as drinkable. It helps understand the sensitivity of the model.
So it's not just about getting the answer, it's about understanding the road to that answer, the reasoning. How does this actually play out in the real world? Are there tangible benefits beyond just understanding or building trust?
Oh, absolutely. The practical application of XAI goes way beyond just theoretical discussions or making people feel comfortable. For example, let's say an AI model predicting how pollutants might spread consistently highlights the importance of data from one specific sensor location. XAI showing this actually validates that sensor's strategic placement and tells you it's working well. It confirms you put your resources in the right place.
Okay, so it verifies your setup.
Right. But conversely, if XAI reveals that a different sensor's data is consistently being ignored or given very low weight by the model, that could indicate a malfunction with the sensor, or maybe it's just in a poorly chosen location where it's not capturing useful information. This guides necessary adjustments to your data collection strategies. Maybe you need to fix it, move it, or even remove it.
So XAI actually helps improve the whole system.
Exactly. It not only builds trust, but also provides actionable insights that improve the quality of the data collection process itself. It becomes part of a self-correcting, improving system.
That's a powerful way to frame it, AI not just as a tool, but as part of this deeply interwoven web. Thinking bigger now, beyond just the technology itself, how does AI interact with the broader patterns of, say, human behavior, economics, politics, and the natural environment when it comes to water? It feels like it touches everything.
It really does. That's where the true complexity and, honestly, the profound potential lie. Let's start with the human side call: health, behavior, and education. The link between water quality and public health is direct and absolutely critical. We know contaminants like arsenic, lead, microplastics, PFAS, these forever chemicals have serious documented long-term health effects. Everything from skin disorders and diarrheal infections to cancer and neurological damage.
Scary stuff.
It is. But AI's pattern recognition can help identify and mitigate these risks. It can help forecast outbreaks of waterborne diseases like malaria or typhoid by spotting the conditions that allow them to spread. This enables timely intervention and protects communities.
And what about influencing how we behave, our water use?
That's key too. AI-driven dashboards, maybe on your phone or a home display, can offer consumers real-time data on their daily water usage. Seeing that number tick up can really foster awareness and encourage conservation, making the invisible visible.
But does that rely on people trusting the data, trusting the system?
Absolutely critical. Public trust isn't inherent, it's earned. It requires transparent governance and really effective communication. We often see this persistent trust deficit that needs active effort to overcome. A really powerful example of fostering that trust and understanding is this Minecraft lesson plan that's been developed.
Minecraft, the game.
Yeah, it teaches students about AI, machine learning, and water quality all within the game. It's engaging, hands-on, and fosters a coding mindset from a young age, demystifying the tech.
That's clever. Okay, what about the economics?
Well, on the one hand, AI brings significant operational cost reduction. We touched on this. Predictive maintenance avoids costly emergency repairs. Reducing water loss from leaks saves money and water. Optimizing energy in treatment plants, like that aeration example.
The potential 60% saving.
Exactly. That translates to increased service reliability and potentially lower water prices for customers. It's a big economic win.
Okay, but you mentioned surprising hidden costs earlier. Is this where that comes in?
This is exactly where it comes in. Here's the profound and often completely overlooked paradox. While AI is this powerful tool for water sustainability, its own development and operation have a massive environmental footprint.
How so?
The training and running of these large AI models are incredibly energy intensive. They require huge amounts of electricity, usually generated by power plants. And generating that electricity, especially cooling the massive data centers where that AI lives, necessitates significant amounts of clean, treated water.
Wait, AI uses water, a lot of water.
A lot of water. One estimate suggested major tech companies use something like 580 billion gallons of water in 2022 just for power generation and cooling their data centers.
580 billion gallons. That's staggering.
It is. And about 80% of that water is typically lost to evaporation and cooling towers. It doesn't go back into the local system. This creates this hidden pattern of water consumption and also air pollution from the power plants. Projections suggest this data center energy use could result in up to 1,300 premature deaths per year in the U.S. alone by 2030, just from the air pollution, with public health costs approaching $20 billion annually.
Wow. And who bears those costs?
Often, it disproportionately affects low-income communities located near power plants or in areas facing water stress where data centers might be built. So you have this paradox. AI improves water management efficiency globally, maybe, but at a very real local cost to water supplies and public health. We even saw this play out in Chile. Water activists successfully resisted Google's attempt to extract local fresh water for a planned data center, arguing it was a critical community resource they couldn't spare.
That highlights the political dimension, too.
Absolutely. Moving to the political side, AI can be a powerful ally for governments in policy and governance. By analyzing complex data, AI systems can provide data-driven insights to optimize distribution networks, allocate water resources more fairly, especially during shortages. It can even offer early warnings for potential water-related conflicts by linking hydrological data with social, political, and economic factors.
But there are political hurdles, too, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Significant non-technical hurdles. The vision of creating a digital twin of the entire water infrastructure, a complete virtual replica.
Sounds ambitious.
It is. And it requires substantial long-term investment. But many regulatory periods for utilities are quite short-term, making it hard to justify those huge upfront costs. There's also that pattern of potential inequity we need to watch.
How so?
Well, AI's effectiveness depends entirely on the quality and availability of data. Many regions, particularly rural or low-resource areas, simply lack the monitoring infrastructure. So if we're not careful, deploying AI could actually exacerbate existing inequalities, benefiting areas that already have good data and leaving others further behind.
That requires careful planning.
And conscious effort to ensure equity. And as we saw in Chile, the sheer resource demands of AI, water, and energy can create significant public and political resistance. Finally, let's touch on the environmental nexus more broadly. AI enables adaptive modeling and forecasting to help manage water resources in our changing climate, predicting how storms will affect water quality, forecasting floods and droughts more accurately.
Adapting to the new normal.
Right. And beyond just human applications, AI aids in protecting natural ecosystems. It can monitor parameters like water turbidity or dissolved oxygen levels to predict harm to sensitive habitats. Think about salmon populations affected by soil erosion, clouding rivers. This helps guide local conservation efforts. And, as we mentioned, AI's role in optimizing irrigation for sustainable agriculture is also a major environmental benefit.
Wow. That's quite a lot to take in. It's incredibly complex. So when we pull all of these threads together, the incredible potential, the black box challenge, that really startling paradoxical footprint, and all the complex human and political dimensions, what's the big picture? So what does this all mean for the future of water?
Yeah, it means the future isn't about, total automation taking over. It's not robots running everything. The most likely, and probably the best path forward, is a synergistic collaboration between AI and human expertise.
Well, human in the loop.
Exactly. AI is a powerful complement, but it's not a replacement for human judgment, experience, and intuition. Optimal solutions will integrate human analysis. They'll allow experts to audit the insights AI generates, provide crucial feedback, maybe correct the AI, and continuously enhance its accuracy and reliability over time. This fusion of AI's predictive power with human ingenuity and oversight, that's the most robust path forward for managing our precious water resources.
But we can't ignore the ethical and societal challenges you raised.
We absolutely cannot.
Yeah.
There are significant challenges we must tackle head-on. Beyond the black box issue, which really undermines trust and accountability, there's the critical need to ensure fairness. AI can inadvertently amplify biases present in its training data.
Leading to unfair outcomes.
Potentially, yes, like unfair water allocation if the data historically favored certain areas or groups. We have to actively work against that. And then there's a moral obligation, frankly, to minimize AI's own environmental impact, that huge carbon and water footprint. We need to ensure it doesn't inadvertently harm the very resources it's supposed to help protect.
So, given all that, how do we move forward strategically? How do we balance this incredible power with our responsibilities? What are the actionable steps?
Okay, well, based on what we're seeing, there are a few key strategic recommendations emerging. First, we absolutely need to prioritize explainable AI, XAI. It should become a foundational requirement, not an afterthought, to build that trust and accountability.
Make transparency standard.
Exactly. Second, we must develop strong interdisciplinary public-private partnerships. These are needed to bridge technical skill gaps, facilitate better data sharing, which is often siloed, and create the financial and regulatory frameworks for those essential long-term investments. Third, speaking of regulations, we need more forward-looking regulatory frameworks, ones that adjust those short review periods to actually support the substantial, multi-year digital water infrastructure investments required.
Thinking longer term.
Yes. Fourth, we absolutely must address the AI water and energy footprint head-on. This means strategic planning for where data centers are located, how they're powered, prioritizing sustainability, like requiring the use of treated municipal wastewater for cooling instead of fresh water, empowering them with renewable energy sources.
Making AI itself more sustainable.
It has to be part of the equation. Finally, and this is crucial, fostering public awareness and digital literacy. Investing in public education, like that Minecraft example, and maintaining transparent communication is vital to build societal trust and ensure equitable access to AI's benefits in water management. We need to involve all stakeholders.
It's clear that AI offers just immense promise in tackling the world's water challenges, really game-changing potential. But as you've laid out so clearly, its full potential can only be realized if we thoughtfully and proactively address its complexities and paradoxes.
Absolutely. And this journey isn't just about the technology, it's fundamentally about our shared future with water. So maybe a final thought for you, the listener. How do you think we can best strike that balance between the undeniable power of AI and our deep responsibility to protect our most vital natural resource? How do we ensure equitable access for everyone, especially when we consider AI's own significant footprint? What role can transparency, community engagement, and maybe even ideas like that Minecraft lesson play in building that sustainable and fair water future? It's something we all need to think about.
This is DigitView.